I'm going to start to do a few of these videos on modeling tips, like just kind of showing what I personally do for various little modeling techniques. Right now I'm focusing on armor modeling, and I should say, like, this is just what I do. I'm not saying this is the right way or proper way or the best way to do it. It's just how I do it. And so I'm going to show various small steps here. The tank that I'm going to use, just you know, for more information so that you have a little better understanding. The tank that I'm going to use to do these techniques, and this is going to be for a lightly weathered tank, like a newer tank. This project that I'm doing is not going to be a heavily weathered tank. I'll get into that in the future, because this is just my first video on, say, modeling techniques, so that's why I'm kind of trying to explain it. But this is the vehicle here that I'm going to be using, which is a ZTQ-15, the brand new main kit. Well, it's been out for a couple years now, I guess. So this is the one here that I'm using. So to start off with, I'm going to show the tracks. And normally when I do my tracks, I'll paint them right on the sprue, just like this. These are like BMP tracks, it really doesn't matter, but normally I paint them right on the sprue. I don't prime them. This is the way, this is just the way I do it. This kit has the pinned tracks. They give you the jig for them here, and they're like, you can assemble the whole thing before you paint them, which is really nice. So that's how I will paint them. Obviously, it's better than when painting them individually. So the colors, this is the color that I normally use for tracks, which is the aqueous or the acrylic Mr.Hobby paint 76, which is burnt iron. That's normally the color I use just about universally for all my tracks, and it seems to be good for older vehicles, like heavily weathered vehicles, just about anything. It seems to be pretty nice. And recently, though, I've been using, for newer vehicles, newer production vehicles, I use the Tamiya dark iron. It's not a bad option either. It's a little darker than the other one. It's not so metallic-y, so it's kind of better for newer vehicles that don't have much wear to them. But I found that actually metal tracks, like these ones, are the like cleat style tracks, these metal ones, like they don't have the pads and stuff on them. In real life, like they weather extremely fast. They really rust up really fast. So it doesn't matter if you want to go for a newer look, or like considering how fast they rust and that. I mean, I would just use this. This is my universal like go-to, which is the burnt iron. So I'm going to airbrush these, and I'll move on to the next part. Now for airbrushing, I just like, I'm not the best airbrusher in the world or anything. I'm not going to tell people that they're whatever your technique is fine, but I just use like one of these universal, just large style airbrushes. This is a Tamiya one, which they used to be really cheap, but now they're kind of expensive now, I think, for what they are. But that's what I use to do my general work, is this airbrush here, and I'll thin down the paint just a little bit. You can thin down with the Mr. Hobby. Some people say that you can use water. I've never thinned them with water personally. You can use this, which is pretty good thinner, which is actually made for the aqueous line. And the other one is X20A. It works perfectly fine. It'll work with the Tamiya or the Mr. Hobby paints. The other one is the leveling thinner, which isn't actually made for the aqueous line, but it works in there. And usually I reserve this stuff for if I'm doing gloss work, or sometimes semi-gloss, but gloss is what I use this with. The other paints I find are the other thinners I find are fine for if you're doing flat paints or this kind of paint, because you want it to have a slight texture to it. So this will be the like I'll show the first step here, and then I'll move on to the second part.